Tom Hiddleston done with Loki? Well, considering how season 2 concluded, that would make sense. And especially since I he's great in the role. It's hard to imagine someone else doing it, except with, damn, why am I blanking on his name? But he did a good Loki in season 1. But anyway, yeah, but the show, him and Owen Wilson, we probably should team up again for some other film or show or something, because they do work well together. And there was things like that, and it had some moments of charm to it, but overall the show was not that great. It was going nowhere. And right off the bat, the premise of Loki gets punished, but the Avengers don't, when they're the ones who change time. So, but on and on and on with that. But anyway, how he ends, and don't worry, Loki, I won't tell. He doesn't die, but it's interesting that he's done. Now, Matt McCloy here at Cosmic Book News has got the deal. He praises the show. He liked it a lot more than I did. But nevertheless, and there's Tom did an appearance on the Tonight Show, and he revealed that that's it. This is the conclusion. And he goes, this is 14 years of his life. It's like, boy, time flies, doesn't it? And I'm not going to play the video. I don't do that, but there's a clip of it on Twitter of him talking about it. I'm sure you can find it in, Tonight Show clip somewhere. But anyway, and at the time, he's updated this since, but there was someone saying they had heard that Loki will be leading another project before the next Avengers film. The account said those options, Tom Hiddleston could appear in Loki season 3, that's highly unlikely, or a Thor and Loki duo movie. With it said, Tom Hiddleston would be appearing in another MCU project prior to the next Avengers movie. That would mean Loki would be back before the release of Avengers The Kang Dynasty in 2026. Or if the rumors about Kang Dynasty getting canceled are true, maybe before Avengers Secret Wars in 2027. Well, especially when the original plan was all about Kang and whatnot, and considering the involvement of Kang in the Loki series and how Loki ended up, I would think it doesn't make any sense for him not to at least have some sort of cameo. And maybe they could contrive something like that, especially for Secret Wars. I don't think they're replacing him as the big motivator or villain. He has a heroic conclusion in this version of the character. But they do mention there's still Kangs floating around, so that would explain Kang's presence and that he would be the ultimate villain leading into Secret Wars. But more than likely, they're going to have to recast Kang, which they could just chalk that up to, of course, the multiverse shenanigans. Kang Dynasty, which will probably get scrapped, and they jump into Secret Wars because they're in bad shape and they want to hurry up and get there. And, of course, bring back Robert Downey Jr. for that film and that sort of thing. But I don't think it's enough to save them. I think they're in a really, really bad spot. And even if you get a good Deadpool movie, that's not going to be enough. So, anyway, this guy, what was the name? The Thwip T was claiming all this. However, My Time to Shine Hello, who has a fairly good track record, and many suspect this is some big insider working Twitter on behalf of the studio, or at least Disney overall. So responded to this and said, no, he isn't. So that means no to any of this. Obviously, no Loki season 3, no Loki and Thor movie, and no Avengers film. So that would rule out Secret Wars, I guess. So it's odd. If you've seen the finale, you understand the position Loki now holds, and it would seem with the multiverse shenanigans, conclusion for the reboot, that Loki would play a role in that story in some form or fashion. I would think. And again, yeah, it could be a simple a cameo. It's just like 1 day of work for Hiddleston to come film some scenes for it to make it all match up, and then you move on. And when they get to their reboot, somebody else is going to have to take on the role at some point. But anyway, it's a smart move on him to go ahead and move on. I think that's more than enough. It's a shame the show, in my opinion, was a bit of a failure. Narratively speaking, it is things that don't really add up. And just a show posing like it's a real show. Probably would have been better to make them movies, even if it was just for the platform. I think that would have worked a lot better. There's huge problems, especially season 1, with that business of the Avengers aren't responsible. Well, that's how it was meant to be. That's lazy crap. And it's just too bad. But what have you? Yeah, he's made the right decision. As for whether or not he could, they're getting Robert Downey Jr. back. They might be able to get him back to do a scene, that kind of thing. And really, Secret Wars would be the final outing. You can't go on forever like this. So he goes on. There's a lot of spoilers coming out of late, and he speculates that by time to shine, hello, and can we get some toast? Probably the same people. Run by a professional public relations company out of Los Angeles. He compares this to a Facebook page that did this way back when for Man of Steel and that sort of thing. And, of course, with the revelation of that they had set up deliberately bots and whatnot to attack critics from people within the studios. More than likely, yeah, that would explain this. And they have liberty to go ahead and reveal certain things. So, and then it just confirms in this where McCloy has talked to some people at a Comic-Con about this and said that Marvel has been the same since the Russo brothers and James Gunn left. Yeah, the main talent behind the success of Marvel is long gone. And it shows. So, there we have it. So, anyway. That was it for Loki, and it sure looked like it. Again, he's not dead, but still. So, for all intents and purposes, yeah, that's it for Hiddleston's Loki. Short of, a cameo in Secret Wars. Beyond that, I think that'll be it.